Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto.
With Michael.
Son Ranto.
And Crawley.
Son Ranto and the lovable loser. Son Ranto.
With Michael.
Son Ranto.
And Crawley.
Son Ranto and the lovable losers. Son Ranto.
Hey, welcome to the Son Ranto Show, brought to you by all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you to all of you that support this show and keep us on the air. I, of course, I'm the Rocket Man. We got we're all here. We're all here for our regular Thursday show at 7 o'clock, except that we're doing it at 8 o'clock, which is fine. Welcome to Son Ranto Show. This is the first official off-season Son Ranto Show. The season is over. The World Series is finished. Georgie Soler just tearing it up in the World Series, winning the MVP, ex-Cub power happening. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But tonight's show, we're going to start with talking a little bit about Ronnie Woo-Woo's birthday party, which Crawley and I were in attendance at. I got a bunch of pictures and some hilarious video to show you all. We also talk about the new Cubs hitting coach, Greg Brown. And we got some roster moves to talk about because a flurry of roster moves happen when the season ends. And also, we're going to go into some news around the league that could affect the Cubs if they make decisions to maybe sign some of these guys that are now available. And afterwards, we're going to have a big discussion on the Spotify Green Room app with you guys if you follow Son Ranto Show and join us at 9 o'clock Central Time and hang out with us. But how you guys doing? How was your week?
Boy, it was a lot of recovering from the Ronnie Woo 80th birthday bash. But other than that, there's Cub news. It was fun.
Yeah, dude, it really was fun. And I mean, the party was fun. I stayed up till 4 a.m, ended up at Nisei Lounge watching the World Series with, I think you guys might follow her at Scurioso, or I think that's what she's called. Janet is her name. Janice is her name. And also Curly Fro. From Twitter. Yep. They were over at Sarah Sanchez, our good friend Ken was over there. So we had a great night. I got home at 4 a.m. My Thai guy slept on the couch. You know that if My Thai guy sleeps on your couch, that you had yourself a party that night. So woke up on Halloween.
We ended up at Dark Horse next door because one of our
you guys got bought. You were supposed to meet us at Nisei Lounge, and they took one look at Stuart McVicker and said, "You're too drunk to come in there." So they went next door.
Went next door, and then we ended up at Output, and then we ended up back at Club 400 Wrigleyville. So all's well that ends well, but oh boy.
Yeah.
Well,
oh boy,
I didn't get to go to Woo-Woo's party, but my wife and I had classic college night. We just went walking downtown to go have dinner, and we ended up at a house party until like 2 a.m.
You went to a frat party?
No, it was people our age. When we were walking down, it was this woman's birthday party, and people were cutting pumpkins because it was the night before Halloween.
I believe
they were trying to
carving pumpkins is
carving. Yeah, they were carving
proper
pumpkins.
term.
But they had 80 some pumpkins out on their yard, and they asked us if we wanted to come in and carve some pumpkins. And so Emily and I did. And next thing you know, it's 2 a.m.
Next thing you know, they get all stabby. I had to defend myself. They're taking out the big carving knife, and the first thing they try to carve was a jack-o'-lantern out of was my head. You got to be careful in those college towns. A lot of murderers. Well, I think all that you really need to know about Ronnie Woo's birthday party might be in this video. So let me put up a video real quick, and I'll try to.
I didn't check the video.
All right, so in the video for all the podcast listeners, there's Crawley dressed up like a priest and his wife is a nun. Ronnie Woo Woo is hanging out with a hot blonde, and he's they're all doing hula hoops. Ronnie's got his hula hoops going around his neck. Crawley, you can't hula hoop at all. You're terrible at it. Your wife isn't much better, and they're obviously playing Johnny Be Good. And let me tell you, that was just, I was so tickled by that moment. It was so strange and random. The whole thing. I met Ronnie's daughter, very nice woman, Yolanda, really
very
cool.
Nice.
Her boyfriend was super cool. We even had conversations about what it was like to grow up with Ronnie Woo at your dad. She's as your dad, and she was saying shit like, it's like, well, I'm, 7 years old and it's 11 o'clock and I want to go home and my dad's just rolling around on the floor hanging out with people, and it just, and I'm just like, man, that must have been wild, and not altogether great, as you might imagine, but super nice person. Met tons of great people. Let me show you some more pictures. A bunch of us were there. Here's Crawley, me, and Shannon, his wife. And I'm dressed as biblical losses, Jesus. And you kept right in the theme, Crawley. You got the priest outfit fit on. Your wife's went as the nun. We got
What was the thoughts behind that, Crawley? Was it just because you knew you were going to be hanging out with Jesus the whole night?
Yeah, it was good. We've been so busy with the clubhouse. Usually we get all crazy for Halloween and go shopping and We have like a million costumes, and we just never made it out to go get costumes. So all of a sudden I see Danny in the Sun Ranto page as biblical loss as Jesus. And I'm like, you know what? When my wife was pregnant with my son, we dressed as the priest and she was a pregnant nun. So we already had the costume. So I'm like, this is perfect. Dug it out and then pulled it out.
The Wolf of Wrigleyville was there. If you guys know that guy, he's a big party planner around Wrigley Field. He made the mistake of wearing a big, heavy wolf mask. I'm like, dude, I made that mistake when I was like 14 and I was into Fangoria magazine and I was like, ooh, I want a one of those big, scary, ugly masks. So I saved up all my lawn mowing money and I bought this mask for like $20, which was a lot of money back in the 80s. And I buy this thing over at PJ's Trick Shop. Remember PJ's Trick Shop down in Country Mall? Crawley knows what I'm talking about. And so I buy this thing. I'm all impressed with myself. And then you just sweat balls in this thing with this freaking heavy mask on. The poor Wolf for Wrigleyville. Anyway, that guy was there. And look at this motley crew of characters. We got just the whole crew was there. We got Bill from Fly the Wood, Stuart McVicker. We got our friend Patrick. Dude, he had like $150 costume on.
It was nice, yeah.
Yeah, we got Heckler Brad was there, and his wife, Sarah Spain, the famous Sarah Spain. And Bruce Wolf was there at the party. Who else was there? Janet, his handler. And anyway, we had a freaking blast. And they serve pretty good food, too. Check out, they got a Woo Woo 80 cookie, had meatball subs, got little tater skins with the sour cream and got a little quesadilla action. And, man, we just had what a fun time. And then the best part, you got to admit, was the song.
The song was great. The people loved it, man.
Yeah, here we were. We did a big, Ronnie Woo Woo sing along to Hey Jude, Hey Woo. And Ronnie, basically, I don't know if somebody's got video of it. I don't. But the end of the song, when we're like, woo, 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 everybody's singing along. And Ronnie's like, in the middle of the floor with his arms outstretched to the sky and, just basking in our love. And I'm telling you, what a party. Anything you want to add to that, Crawley? Man, I think the pictures say it all, but for the podcast listeners, maybe.
You really, it's just about having fun. That's what it's all about, is that don't take it so serious. Don't take yourself so serious. Don't take it so serious. We just went out. We just got stupid. Who cares? I can't hula hoop or shit. But you know what? I had fun. Who cares? Have a good time,
I'll tell you, a Ronnie Woo Woo party is really like the specific time to really throw all caution in the wind and do whatever the hell you feel like doing. Like if you're like wallflowering at a Ronnie Woo Woo 80th birthday, there's something seriously wrong with your personality. Like you really ought to go see someone.
Yeah, when we got there, like I said, we were at Club 400 Wrigleyville, and then we were already kind of liquored up by the time we got there, and then all of a sudden the drinks started flowing, the quesadillas started getting eaten, and then the party was on. That was the thing, man. It's just getting people dancing. We did Sweet Caroline. We did a lot of fun songs that we just kind of sing along to, and the piano player was really great. The entertainment was great.
Yeah, gosh, I wish I could remember his name right now. And
I have his card somewhere too.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get that to you because he's a super cool guy as well, and he did a great job. He plays multiple instruments. He had the accordion out there. He went wireless for a while, and a wireless mic. So like he was really like a one-man band kind of dude, and really great guy. He let me use all his shit too because I showed up with just a guitar. I'm like, bro, can I plug in? Like that's just my style. I'm like, dude, I don't even need a mic. Forget it. Let's get into some Cubs news. We did have a little news broken. Well, not really broken by Cubs Jesus, but Cubs Jesus. He, after he went to Ronnie Woo Woo's party, he had a little. He made a little TikTok video introducing our new hitting coach. Check it out.
Behold, I am Cubs Jesus, bearing good news for all. The Cubs have hired a new hitting coach named Greg Brown. He is the 9th hitting coach or assistant hitting coach the Cubs have had in the last decade. But do you know what else is brown? Dirt. And you know what else grows in dirt? Crops. Perfect for the Cubs' new crop of hitters that will be heading up through the ranks, like Brennan Davis. So welcome to the Cubs, Greg Brown. God bless you all, and go Cubs.
I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of Cubs Jesus coming up, much to everybody's embarrassment, especially
I just had a biblical loss.
a biblical loss of 25 seconds. But Greg Brown, he was the Rays hitting coordinator for a couple years.
He was a great singer-songwriter.
Oh yeah, he was I know, dude. If you look up Greg Brown, he's like the 60th one. Like he's not even close to being the most famous Greg Brown.
I went to a Greg Brown concert in the 90s. That's
Here's the thing. If you were writing a baseball movie and you said, "Hey, I need a meatball hitting coach looking guy."
There he is.
There he is. Like he
Central
is
Casting.
literally from Central Casting. They pulled out Greg Brown. He is basically, if you just imagine a hitting coach, and the first thing that pops in your head, and you're right.
Well, he's had a lot of different jobs around baseball. He was an Astros scout, and they're pretty much been a development. They've always had a good crop of prospects that they've always brought up. They're not a small market team by any means, but they've always prided themselves on developing players. So he was a scout there. He was the coach at Nova Southeastern University, which I'm Southeastern, not Southeastern, unless there was an N missing. It's got to be an N missing, right? In the thing I read. But no, Southeastern is what I read.
I don't know. Is that like a storm in Florida? Like up in Maine, you got a nor'easter.
Yeah, and
in Florida, you got a southeaster.
Southeaster. It's a southeaster coming through. But he was a coach. He was a college coach, and then he became the Rays minor league hitting coordinator for the last 2 years. And I looked up some of the Rays numbers. I don't know how much credit you can give a guy for 2 years of working for the Rays, but they were top 10 offense OPS wise. They were also had high strikeouts. So nobody's going to like to hear that.
Oh,
but
wonderful.
That's the game. That's the game. You hit the home runs, you strike out a ton, and you come in first place a lot because the Rays have had a fair amount of success since he's been there. So have the Astros. And I don't know about Nova Southeaster, but
all I can tell you, is that, I mean, we want to think that the hitting coach makes all the difference in the world. And I just don't know how much it is. I've seen a lot of guys come through here. I remember when Rudy Jaramillo was the biggest name and the Cubs got him, and nothing really changed much that I've ever seen from Cubs hitters. And then John Maley came and he preached the launch angle and a lot of the stuff that's popular in today's game. And then they fired him and got Chili Davis, who taught, contact, hitting the ball the other way. Didn't get along really well with a lot of the other players.
He's been fired twice since then.
Yep. And then went to Anthony Iapoce, who was a mentee of John Maley, went back to the same approach.
Mentee. I've never heard of that.
So who knows?
You got a mentor and a mentee, and then you got a manatee, which is a whole different thing.
I was going to say, I was just thinking manatee. I'm like, isn't that the cow of the sea?
No, mentee is the person getting mentored.
No, wait. I've got manatees and I've got turds now.
I'm just telling you. You can look it up. I ain't making this shit up.
Well, the thing is, I mean, this guy's a hitting coordinator. I mean, now he's a hitting coach, and I guess. Who's the assistant hitting coach right now? Yeah, exactly. Who cares? But what? I mean, honestly, really, who cares? But because like you're saying, this stuff doesn't make a lot of difference. If you see a guy doing something wrong or getting a hitch in his swing or getting into some bad habits, I think that's where you get. It's like any coach. You're a coach of a singing coach or a director of a play when you see an actor getting into a bad habit where he's always got his head bobbing. You're like, what are you doing? Do you know you're doing this? Or a lot of forehead tension or something like that. You're going to point these things out. You're doing your toe wrong. And the way here's, let me backtrack here. When you think about the new GM that they got and everything being so analytically driven, this is a young math nerd again with Hawkins. Carter Hawkins. Now, he talked about how he needs to take this analytic stuff and get the right people to build the programs, to have the right algorithms, to get the right data to plug into the system, to tell the coaches. So, I mean, when you look at a guy like Greg Brown, even though he looks like a meatball dude, he's got a lot of experience in those exact kind of organizations, especially the Rays. I don't know how the college thing was, but it seems like that they're trying to really spin straw to gold. And it scares me that they're not going to go out to free agents. They're just going to try to be the Rays. I don't know if you have that same experience.
I've listened to John Maley numerous times. I can't count the amount of times that I've sat at Club 400 or some other type of event and listened to John Maley speak. And I've listened to a lot of hitting coaches speak. And look, they help. They look for, like you said, little hitches. So what they'll do is if a player's struggling, they'll look at video of when the player was hot and try to see if they see something. But it's not even just like a one-person thing anymore. There's multiple eyes that are looking at it. It's not just one guy and he's the hitting guy and there's one guy and he's the pitching guy. It's built within the system of numerous layers of people. And the hitting coach is going to get the glory and he's going to be the one fired if shit doesn't go well. But do you really think that the Cubs didn't hit because Anthony Iapoce didn't do a good job? I mean, it really comes down to the players that you have. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, they certainly put a lot of blame on Chili Davis, and so did the Mets.
You can have that. So in those type of jobs, it's how you relate, how personable, how you can bring a message across. And a lot of people that talk with Chili just didn't like Chili was kind of like, these youngsters today, they don't respect shit. That's not going to fly real well with young players.
Yeah.
So you can't go with that approach.
Yeah, and you see it's kind of trending younger. Like you see an old school guy like Dusty Baker managing the Astros, or Tony La Russa is the prime example over at the White Sox, where they're like, we got all these young guys, and then we're going to completely counterbalance it with a guy triple their age, if not quadruple their age. And, and that didn't work out on the South Side. I mean, I really do feel like Tony La Russa lost them some games. The White Sox played behind their Pythag this year. They scored a lot of runs, but they didn't bring it home. Tony La Russa made awful mistakes. They got pantsed by the Astros, who ended up going to the World Series, but they seriously got their asses kicked. And, so I kind of like how it's getting built in a, smart new baseball-y way. And I really hate it as I want to be entertained by these guys way. You know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, they're going to ruin it and nerd out, and I'm going to be kind of bored with.
Yeah, you remember Yeah, it used to be that we'd watch these guys go out and play, and it would be fun, and they do all this stuff, and we'd use math later just to kind of see where they're at. Now, the math comes,
First.
months before they ever take a pitch, and then the math tells them what they're going to do, and we're all playing fucking, fantasy baseball. What was that? Wasn't there like a baseball game that you could play on paper?
Stratomatic.
Stratomatic. There you go. That's the one. We're just playing Stratomatic now. So if you liked Stratomatic, and I know you did because you play it 162 times a year, that's what we get now.
Well, I mean, I do think it's about communication. The thing that's a little weird to me now is everybody now is expecting, all the fans on Twitter are saying, hey, buy us all these players. Cubs are going to be in on Nick Castellanos, and they're going to be in on, now Chafin opted out, and, all these guys. The Cub fans think we're going to get all of them. But even if they do get all of them, everybody else is new. And, to take a moment to click, you could get like a 2015, which started out slow, and then this team clicks and goes on a tear. But man, you got to be pretty lucky. I mean, the kind of the foundation for 2015 was built way before that, so as Ricketts lied to us.
But I don't think anybody's tearing anything down.
The Ricketts, I mean, they tore down everything, but now that we want them to buy players, it seems like they're buying guys that can make mediocre players do really well.
And a lot of, and of course, baseball ended yesterday, and there's going to be no winter meetings, and the lockout begins in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then there'll be no contact with the players and all this shit until things get worked out. They're hoping to get everything back in by February, so they've had a million years to work on this, but they're hoping that between December and January, which, everybody works every single day through December and January. That's how that works. They're going to be ready to go in February, and the season is going to jump off without a hitch. And between February 1st and March 1st, every team has to sign every player so they can get them ready. I love how everybody has this like this optimism that all of that shit is going to happen exactly like that. And it's not. We're not going to see anything as slow as the off seasons have been. We're not going to see a fucking thing until
it's going to be very full of nothing.
Well, we don't know what the roster is going to be, but before we talk about the roster, why don't we cut to a little commercial?
We got a little in-house commercial. Hopefully you're entertained while I sell you shit. Here we go. If you're like most Americans, you buy shit. Lots of shit. Sometimes you buy shit for other people. Sometimes you buy shit for yourself. And sometimes you buy shit you have to buy just to stay alive. So why not buy shit through the Ranto affiliate? Links at sunranto.com/shopping. We've got tons of shit you can buy. Go to sunranto.com, click on the shopping link, then click our ads and buy shit. We've got Amazon. They've got tons of shit. But you can also buy MLB shit, NBA shit, NFL shit, Fans Ed shit, Southwest Airlines shit, Fanatic shit, Reebok shit, Wine of the Month shit, Beer of the Month shit, Bear Mattress shit, StubHub shit, Lid shit, Sports Memorabilia shit, Volcanica coffee shit, Vibrator shit, Condom shit, Bag shit, NHL shit, and Audible membership shit. There's a whole lot of shit that can help the Ranto Show stay on the air so we can keep talking shit. So buy shit today through sunranto.com/shopping. Thanks. Cubs Jesus thinks you're the shit.
I got to tell you, I was impressed that the picture of the three of us, all of our eyes are closed.
I know. And I'm holding a Swiffer. I was like, what was happening on that show?
You want to be really impressed. That was just enough time for me to go take a shit.
That's a lot of shit, Michael. So yeah, let's talk about these roster moves, shall we? There were quite a few of them. Crawley, you want to read them, considering you put this in there?
Yeah, the Cubs sent right-handed pitcher Jonathan Holder outright to Iowa Cubs. The Cubs sent right-handed pitcher Cole Stewart outright to the Iowa Cubs. Cubs sent left fielder Nick Martini outright to the Iowa Cubs. Catcher Jose Lobaton elected free agency. Catcher Robinson Chirinos elected free agency. Right-handed pitcher Zach Davies elected free agency. Chicago Cubs sent right fielder Trace Thompson outright to Iowa Cubs, and Matt Duffy has elected to test the free agent market.
I love the term elected, as if
the contract
like
not
what's
over.
their other choice?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's talk about some of these guys, and I just want some yay or nays on maybe wanting them back. Dominic writes in, I bought some shit waiting for my Rally Titties shirt and matching onesie for my grandson. Yeah, that's on the next commercial too. I got a Sun Ranto swag commercial, all the t-shirts I've made over the years that nobody buys. I'm going to try to sell them to you again. But yay or nay on wanting these guys back. You got the backup catchers, Chirinos and Lobaton. I mean, I don't know who they're going to go with. They got Wilson Contreras and who?
I think they're going to sign somebody from Japan.
I don't think they're signing either of these guys back.
Has a Japanese catcher ever been brought over and signed?
What about Kurt Suzuki?
I think he's from the United States.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Way to be racist there, Crawley.
Yeah, just assume. Yeah. So how about Zach Davies? Anybody want him?
He's not from Japan either.
No, he's also not from Japan. But he might be pitching there next year.
He probably will be.
He'll probably I think he's more of a Korean kind of. I mean, he might even end up in Taiwan. He might end up on the Budapest Reds.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the brothers. He's a brothers guy.
He's a brothers, from Taiwan. But I don't want him back. I was unimpressed by him, and I'm sick of this slow-ass pitch-to-contact shit. The only one that out of the guys that, and I don't think you mentioned him, was Matt Duffy. Did you mention Duffy?
Yeah, he was the last one.
Oh, yeah.
You'd already fucking glossed over. Listen, like, I don't fucking care about these guys.
Okay, all these fucking assholes. Who cares? No, but Matt Duffy is the only one that I think is a good role player on a team. He can play a lot of different positions. Now, I don't think we need another like get on base guy, considering like everybody else is like that, like your Nikos and your Madrigals and that kind of thing. The high OVP dudes. I don't know. What do you think about Duffy?
He's gonna want to start somewhere. He wants an opportunity to have a chance to start, and I just don't see. You would think that the Cubs would be a place to go, but they got guys that they want to try out, in Wisdom and Frank Schwindel, and then you got the two young guys in Madrigal and Nico Horner. So I mean, I don't know where you'd really kind of play him.
We got some comments in the chat here. Daryl Crater, good friend Daryl, says,
Coach Daryl
says, please don't bring Zach back. And Robert Sanchez says Duffy is the only person on that list even possible.
Yeah, the only way Duffy comes back, the only way we should see him is if he's the final guy, right? Like at the end of spring training, he hasn't caught on anywhere, and he's the last guy on the bench. Like there's no, like Crawley was saying, there's no spot for him.
Yeah, so. And then now the other guys, and when they say they've been outrighted to Iowa, I think all these guys can become free agents in the minor league. So like the Cubs could ink another minor league contract or major league contract if they really want to give one, but I don't think they could because they don't have room on the 40-man. But these guys will be minor league free agents. You got outfielder Trace Thompson now. He's 31 years old, just like all the dudes, like the Ortegas.
They're all 31.
They're all 31.
Nick Martini's 31 too.
They're all 31. Nick Martini. But if Trace Thompson, though, it was interesting. I don't know what he figured out, but he lit it up as a Cub. I looked it up, and I don't know. It's probably garbage time. It doesn't matter. Crawley, you got your face in your hands. But I mean, he hit 4 homers in 35 plate appearances. I mean, that's not. I know. But I'm just saying. Like,
how many did he hit in his entire career before?
Right.
In 2018, he hit 3 but it took him 137 plate appearances.
Congratulations to Jed. He did it. The new market inefficiency is 31-year-old guys that never made it in the minors. That's it. That's the key. We got it.
Kind of what the Giants did, right?
I mean, Trace Thompson was on.
Giants had some World Series champions on that roster.
Oh, right. And all of our 31-year-old World Series champions got ditched for 31-year-old rookies.
Yeah, and but I'm looking at Trace Thompson's number. He's been around. Okay, came up with the White Sox. They ended up in L.A. Then he went to Oakland. Then he went back to the White Sox, and then he was in the minors for a couple of years. Then there wasn't even a minor league season in 2020, and then he came up. So his batting average has always been super, super low, except for his rookie year when he was 24. And then
7 years ago.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Every 7 years, does it like your whole body changes, right? Have you ever heard this? That every 7 years, every single cell in your body is regenerated and brand new. And so maybe he's just a whole new Trace Thompson, and he's get back to that 7-year-old. No, all right. So you don't want Trace Thompson back, I take it. Carly's face is gonna fall off.
Well, Danny's like, Trace Thompson's a whole new human now.
Yeah,
I'm tired of. I'm getting to the point of the off season, and it's one day old that I'm already tired of this idea of, well, maybe this, well, maybe that, well, maybe this. You know what? That is just a bunch of shit. That's a bunch of garbage. Like, why would you want these guys on your team?
Well, here's the question. These guys were dudes. Would you take them as like not fourth outfielders, sixth outfielders, and you'd stash them in AAA so that you have dudes I don't know. They're real major leaguers that could come up and actually take some starts if somebody gets hurt.
They're 4A players. They're good enough to play AAA. They're not good enough to be in major leagues. That's what they are. And I really don't want to imagine paying the highest ticket prices in baseball to watch a 4A team.
Yeah. Well, and you will, though. That is what's going to happen. Nick Martini's the other one. He was less impressive. Batted 270, but no pop in the bat. The one that intrigues me probably most is Cole Stewart. He started a few games I know that Minnesota had been real high on him, and it didn't work out. But his best start for the Cubs was at the end of May. He only gave up 1 run versus San Diego and went 5 innings. His worst start was against the Cardinals. He gave up 5 runs through 4, but the Cubs won it anyway. Ended up with a 527 earned run average, 11 Ks, only 13 innings. But this dude had a lot of promise with the Twins, and they just kind of gave up on him. So he seems like a reclamation project. I mean, we saw that with Arrieta. You remember he sucked with I'm not saying Cole Stewart's Arrieta, but I'm saying that sometimes you're in a bad situation, like a Jake Arrieta, and you have a lot of talent, but it's not working out. And maybe Cole Stewart could be that dude. Plus, he's got a hilarious picture on Baseball Reference. He's like, he looks like somebody just stuck something up his butt. But he's interesting. And then the other one was Jonathan Holder, who was with the Yankees for many years, and he just only pitched 2 innings in the minors all year. He's got a 4.38 lifetime ERA, which isn't breaking down any doors. But anyway, that's just a middle relief arm, just one of those dudes from the pen. He was hurt all year, so we didn't really get to see him at all. We didn't see him at all in Chicago. He just was in the minors. But, I don't know if any of these guys would be worth bringing back, for at least a minor league situation.
The Cubs and the players both have to make a decision on that, and hopefully they'll make the right one. I don't know, but sometimes you catch lightning in a bottle, but you just don't want to be betting on that all the time.
Yeah. None of them totally impress me, but at the same time, it's like somebody's got to play in the minors. You don't have, somebody, and I don't know what their plan is with your Greg Dykmans of the world and your, we don't know.
Trent Giambroni.
Yeah. Trent Giambroni, we don't know their plan with him. Brennan Davis, we don't know if he's going to make the big league squad, what kind of spring training he'll have.
Is Ian Miller going to play all spring training and then not play at all?
Yeah, exactly. No, they make weird decisions and things that I don't expect them to do, and then you end up with Nick Martini instead. It's just strange.
It may be strange, but hopefully, if these guys end up in the minor leagues, we can send them some swag, like some Sun Ranto shirts.
Dude, I think that Sun Ranto shirts are exactly the kind of swag these people want. It's time for another commercial.
Do you like having sex? Me too. That's why I always wear my Sun Ranto swag shirts every time I'm looking to get some. It's the only t-shirt guaranteed to get you laid. Knock boots in your shankless shirt. Bump uglies in a Ranter long sleeve. Ride the skin-busted Tuna Town in a Dabbing Cubes fan shirt. Take gold one-eye to the optometrist in your bull penis awesome attire, or smash pissers in a Spagog shirt. Sun Ranto swag shirts are just like people. There are many different sizes and colors to choose from. Plus, at Sun Ranto's swag store, you'll find vintage John Baker Day, designated hater, and Matt Cameron drawn rally titty designs on everything from shirts and hoodies to baby onesies, bags, and hats. Go to sunranto.com/swag and check out all the sexy styles guaranteed to get you laid. You'll be stuffing the soft taco in no time. sunranto.com/swag, guaranteed to get you laid.
Wearing Sun Ranto swag products not guaranteed to get you laid. Sun Ranto swag is not responsible for your sex life. Sun Ranto swag is for entertainment purposes only.
That got me pretty hot, man. All right.
Yeah, baby. It's that Cupstradamus. I hired Cupstradamus back to do the voice, and I think he did a great job. He's got such a sexy tone.
Yeah, nothing says sexy like thinking of that smelly asshole in his short robe and nothing underneath.
It's the one phrase he used that I'd never heard before was smashing pissers. Whew, that got me. It made me sweat. Well, the season's over, and they're completely over. The Braves won. I mean, did you guys watch any of that? Or
I did, yeah.
I watched the Braves cap that victory off.
I had to make sure Dusty didn't get his trophy, so I'm happy. It ended. All's well that ends well. I didn't want the Braves to win in front of their fans, but I didn't want Dusty to hold a trophy and then have to see all the ass kissing articles afterwards about how Dusty's the greatest guy ever. So I love the fact that he's still the guy that never won it all, and good. I hope he never wins a World Series championship in my life.
Lisa Cram writes in, says, that awkward moment when you're listening to the show with kids while making dinner and the swag commercial comes on. That was the swag commercial premiere. It's a historic moment for your kids to witness.
Speaking of historic, how about Jorge Soler?
Oh, yeah, baby. I mean, and it's funny, it's talking about Cubs Twitter. The revisionist history was, I waded to it a little bit, but the revisionist history of like, I can't believe we got rid of Soler. It's like, dude, we had like 9 outfielders. We had 9 left fielders. None of them could play left. Soler was always hurt. And if you look at his stats with Kansas City, he had one good year where he won the home run title. And that was it. It was pretty disappointing. We only got 1 year of Wade Davis out of it. But Wade
Davis was good that year.
Yeah.
And they helped get you to the NLCS. And Jorge Soler is very much like Eloy Jimenez in that they are both gigantic men that could hit the ball very hard. And if you had a DH, and Michael's not going to hear this, but these are the type of guys with Eloy and Jorge that can hit, but they can't field worth a shit.
Though. That's not true because the fucking DH is a fake position that nobody's ever actually used to fucking fill up a spot on their goddamn roster.
Well,
that's where you put your backup catcher and you let him fucking play there, and you give a guy a day off and he's your DH.
You look at a guy like Eloy or Jorge, they suck in the field. They're absolutely awesome. That's why Adam Dunn sucked in the NL. I used to sit there and he'd play left field and my seats were right there. And I would watch Adam Dunn butcher baseballs, trip over his feet, do a somersault in the well, and fucking triple, like 7-hop it to the fucking shortstop.
Jorge was not that bad. And he had a cannon for an arm.
He had an arm, but he just wasn't that great of a fielder. Didn't get good reads on balls. And again, like you said, super muscular, and he was always having these soft tissue issues. Pull this, strain that. It was always something.
Yeah. So I'm glad we got rid of him, man. I'm also glad he got a ring because what a fun
great guy, fun guy, nice guy.
And not only got the ring, But the trophy, the MVP.
Yeah, he got the MVP.
That was huge.
So he caught fire. I mean, he caught fire in that World Series. He overall in the I looked it up that in the whole playoffs, he actually didn't do that great. He had COVID for the first round, so like he didn't. He came. It's possible that might be. COVID's got a lot of side effects. It's possible that one of them's making you the World Series MVP. Now, I think they got to add that to the CDC list.
And who absolutely crushed their brand though was Jock Peterson
with the pearls and everything, and he did shitty. He batted like under 200 in the World Series.
He was smoking a cigar. He wrote a letter to Harry Styles. Like he was the biggest thing in the postseason. Really didn't do. I mean, he did. What was it? He did good in the NLCS.
He had like 3 homers in the first 2 series, but then by the time he made it to the World Series, his he was out. He was done.
But he made it so just like the way he would show up to the ballpark, whatever he was wearing, the pearls, all that stuff, the stogies. He came out of when they're winning the World Series basically with a stogie and a glass of red wine, and I think he had like robe and slippers on. Like he absolutely milked it for everything it was worth.
Yeah, he had a couple of good plays out in the field at least. I mean, Game 7, he caught kind of a low ball that I kind of feel like if he had a better read on it, he wouldn't have had to slide, but he caught it.
And Jesse Chavez, who, if you remember, always had goggles, yeah. Good to see him when he was another nice guy. That
and
I really liked.
Older dude too. I think he's 37, 38 years old, and he's kind of a journeyman reliever, been with a lot of teams. He's kind of like the Fernando Rodney. He's like the new Fernando Rodney's probably pitching tonight somewhere. He's got to be. I mean,
he's in Tijuana right now.
He's in Dominican. He's in Puerto Rico. He's somewhere. I guarantee you that. You have to try. He was definitely playing in Dominican last year because I had the Lidome. Also, speaking of that, the Lidome, which is the Dominican, I couldn't find it on my app, but it's actually MLB. You have to subscribe, but it's through MLB. You can get all the Dominican games right now.
So breaking news from John Heyman right now. The Cleveland Guardians are expected to hire Chris Valaika as hitting coach. He has been with the Cubs as assistant.
That's who we were just trying to think of as the assistant.
Chris Valaika.
So he's gone. He gone, as Hawk Harrelson would say. God, why did I quote Hawk Harrelson?
Seriously.
Yeah, I have a problem. So so Jock gets the ring. Jesse Chavez gets her. It was just, I'm especially happy for Georgie. Not really happy for Braves fans. I'm glad they didn't win it at home and like Trump's at the game doing the chop. It's like, dude, your brand is just to trigger liberals who are trying to make you a better person by not being a racist son of a bitch. And you're like, I am a racist son of a bitch. Look at me. Chop, chop, chop. It's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, you're like, that little kid that you're like, stop poking your sisters. You keep poking her. It's like, dude, go to timeout. Like that guy that laid down in Home Depot the other day wouldn't wear a mask. It's like these human adults having fucking tantrums in public. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad Braves fans didn't get theirs. So how about this? Nick the Stick, as expected, opts out. Probably is going to get the qualifying offer, 18, 19 million, whatever. And he's not going to take it, or maybe he will. I doubt he will. He's probably looking for the bigger deal, maybe a better team. I know everybody.
I would say both.
Yeah, I think both, and I think everybody in Chicago wants him badly.
Why would he go to Chicago though?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I think again, he had a really good time in Chicago. He liked the stadium. He liked the facilities. Again, that was a better team that he was on than he would be coming to.
Right. Unless he's best friends with Kyle Hendricks, Jason Hayward, or Wilson Contreras, nobody's there anymore. They're all gone. There's nobody else for him to hang out with. So unless, I said, if he loves those three, then Chicago. Come back.
And I think he just loved the city, the vibe. He and I remember Danny. We waited for them after they came back, and he was just walking back to his place. Like he just kind of dug everything about, just kind of there are just certain people, like I remember Dempster and Ted Lilly, they just love like going on a bike and like biking 2 blocks to get to your home and then coming back to the park whenever. And there's a lot of people that do enjoy it. Now, again, he's going to get paid, and now he's going to have a choice of teams that are going to want to pay him. But coming to Chicago really revitalized his career, where he struggled, didn't enjoy playing in Detroit, didn't like the stadium, kind of revitalized him. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get him over here, but
yeah, I just don't know
dollars will.
I don't know that the Ricketts are going to put enough dollar bills in his pockets to make him come back. Sure. I mean, all things equal, maybe he would pick the Chicago Cubs to play, but all things are not equal. So
yeah,
I don't know if he comes back.
I mean, I would love it, and I would love him to get all the players to be like, all right, we're completely remaking the team. We're getting Correa, we're getting Nick the Stick. We don't care. We're going full on in. I just don't see it, because tied to a qualifying offer, the punishment for that is not what the Cubs want to do. You lose $500,000 of like international free agent money. You lose your second round pick. It's a lot. It's a lot to lose. And, I think that right now when they're obviously trying to recharge the farm system. And we'll talk about how they might be doing it in somewhat successfully in a second. But, I just feel like they haven't asked us to be patient, but I'm expecting they're going to not ask us to be patient, but we're going to have to be patient for them to get a team. That we have to be patient for the young guys to start coming up and succeeding, for them to start putting veterans around them that have a lot of talent.
Nick the Stick was not the only one to opt out. Andrew Chafin, the failed starter, also opted out, so he's a free agent. Again, if you don't really plan on competing, then getting a top line reliever really doesn't make it worth it.
And here's the other thing I want to point out about Andrew Chafin. He pitched 68.2 innings last year, which is so close to nice. But he pitched in 71 ball games. He had a 183 earned run average, which is amazing. But that is far more than a run better than any other showing he ever had. And he used to be a loogie back when loogies could be a thing. That's better. He never had an ERA even in the 2s. Okay. And I don't know. To me, every other year for a reliever, like I bet you next year he's absolute dog shit with an 8 ERA. It's my feeling, my gut feeling on it is like, stay far away from Andrew Chafin. He'll pitch and look like he'll look and pitch like Bleacher Jeff next year.
Yeah,
I saw Bleacher Jeff pitching on the mound underneath the bleachers at Wrigley. You got me nervous now.
Yeah, no, I can see Chafin actually coming back, because I don't know that there's a huge market for him. Like, Danny, you're saying he's coming off of his best year, but I mean, just what are you going to pay for a reliever anyway? There's not going to be a big difference between the offers, is what I'm saying. And so I can see him choosing the Cubs because he liked, if it's $1 million difference on a $6 or $7 million deal, he might actually do that because he did like being with the Cubs, and he's not going to go somewhere and make $12 million versus $6 million.
He'll make other money too, because we like him so much. But we'll not like him real fast, because Chicago Cubs fans like it. But my other thing about Chafin is he turned down $5 million. Like, who's going to pay him? Are the Cubs going to pay him $5 million for what? To when they got these young arms that they're trying to develop and teach them how to do stuff. I don't see it.
Well, rather than looking in the past, we do have some good news about future Cubs
no, one
players.
more rumor though. Javi.
Yeah, John Heyman said it for
is convinced he's coming back. Like right, 3 times, like tripling down. And I for one can totally see it. That is the one of all those guys that I think that I could absolutely see them going for, because
do you see my new Javi bobblehead that came in?
No.
Let's see if I can get back there. I just unwrapped him the other. Oop.
I see it just very small.
Is Javi not movable?
Yeah. It's like, no.
Like he's trying to move the whole computer too.
Yeah, I've nailed him into this. Like, let me move this computer and microphone. Oh, the El Mago. Yeah, he's got the magic, what do they call it? A wand. I'm like, the magic stick. I got the magic stick. I know I could hit once. I think that song's about something else. But no, he's the one I do things coming back. We can just leave it at that. We don't have to talk about Javi coming back. I think everybody feels similarly. But yeah, good news. The AFL still going. We talked last week with Greg Huss about a couple of these guys, but Nelson Velasquez and Caleb Killian won AFL pitcher of the week and player of the week. Killian, who we got for Chris Bryant, we talked a little bit about him with Huss. Dude's got a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. He's mixing different pitches. You know, he had a terrible first outing and a pretty good. He's a starting pitcher. Like, this guy could be the real deal. It's very exciting for the Cubs to have a legitimate starting pitcher prospect. In many cases, I don't think since Dylan Cease did we have a prospect that was maybe as highly touted as Caleb Killian is right now.
I don't know about Dylan Cease being highly touted.
Well, he was just the best guy we had. That was an actual major league. We have no major league starters coming out of the minor leagues. None.
Right. I'm just saying, like, when I think about it, I think about Mark Pryor when I think about guys that were supposed to be like studs.
Yeah, real dude. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this guy is, Thor or anything like that, but I'm saying, or Jacob
98 plays. 98 plays is what we've been asking for.
And you mix it. It's exactly what we've been asking for. So excuse me if I'm be excited about fucking.
Be excited, absolutely. Dylan Cease has really done well with the Sox. I just didn't think he was anything. He wasn't as a prospect. That's why he was thrown into the deal to kind of seal it. You know what I mean? That the White Sox knew there was talent. The Cubs did. It was just if you could unlock it or not.
Yeah. And Nelson Velasquez, 6 dongs, leading the AFL right now. So that's exciting because he wasn't even, he's kind of like, reminds me of like how Wilson Contreras didn't really come out of nowhere, but kind of came out of nowhere. I don't think anybody was thinking that Nelson Velasquez was good. And this is a high, the AFL is a lot of prospects in that league, a lot of talent. So if he's doing it down there, I'm not going to read too much into it, but it's exciting that we might have, the pipeline might be piping. That's all I'm saying. And it might be these two guys. Anything to add about those dudes?
No, I'm just more excited about the announcements that we have rather than the Cubs announcements.
Yeah, we got a few. The Cubs Carol contest is happening. I'll play one of my new ones, Frank Schwindel, to cap off the show. Bill Sugas, I thought he put one in. Like Nicole, my fiance, she said, it's like, oh, no, Bill's singing on the Ranters. I'm excited to see this. So I click on it. It's just Bill talking about how he's got no ideas for a song. And then he sings one line. I'm like, all right, warming up, Bill, warming up. He's the reigning champion. We'll see if anybody else can beat him. But, it's make your own Christmas parodies, Christmas Cubs parodies.
Yeah. I've already got mine planned out. Just got to work through it now.
You posted on the Ranto, Sun Ranto Ranters page, which if you didn't join it. Go on Facebook, search it up. I guess you could do it on Twitter. Just tag me, Sun Ranto, so I see it. And you will be entered to win. And we'll play a bunch on the show, and we'll decide a winner. It's not a democracy. We choose. I guess we can be influenced by people. But there's so many great contest entries last year. So, and to win, let me grab it real quick. And I'm going to have this signed by Mr. Wu himself, but we have a Ronnie Woo Woo talking bobblehead for the winner. This thing is priceless.
Just so you know, that was the first bobblehead ever released by the Bobblehead Hall of Fame.
So that's got to be worth what?
Wow.
$1,000?
And you say it talking, so does it woo? It just woos.
I haven't turned it around because then it wouldn't be in mint condition anymore. I haven't not going to open it,
It probably just goes woo, woo.
I would guess it. I can you imagine it does it woo. And it's just like him like spewing Bible verses or something random. That would be so weird. So anyway, Roddy, get your
the best of times. It was the worst.
Yeah, he's like
it's all of Dickens.
Yeah. So and
this is CNN.
And also if you're so inclined, come join us on December the 11th, and we're gonna meet at G-Man Tavern at 5 p.m. I'm going to post a link in the chat here to the Facebook event. We're going to be at G-Man Tavern for the Cubs caroling event on December 11th. Join us. Come on through. Also wanted to say thank you. We did have a death in the Son Ranto Ranter family. We raised a bunch of money for, excuse me, for a friend of us who's in that group on Facebook, the Mike Leonard Condolences jersey. And we ended up buying her a shirt because she lost her mother, and also raised $200 for a suburban animal shelter, which I know that's close to Crawley's heart, working at a vet as a kid. Your dad was a vet and stuff growing up. So anyway, thank you so much. And the other announcement is afterwards, after the show in 5 minutes, join us on the Spotify Green Room app. You download the Spotify Green Room app. It's free. You follow Son Ranto Show to be notified when we go live, which we will be doing in 5 minutes. And then we have a conversation about whatever the fuck you guys want to talk about. You can come on the show.
You know, today is the 5-year anniversary of the World Series parade.
It is.
Oh, did you see what happened yesterday? So I was just at a fucking random Salvation Army store, and I found the Tribune and the Post, the Sun Times, the Tribune and the Sun Times on November 3rd, 2016. Those two papers, and I found it on November 3rd, 2021, and I never got them because I was out in Colorado. I never got them.
You bought them.
So I bought $3. I think I got them for less than anybody could have gotten them for that day.
I think the Trib is $5 by itself, or something like that. I know the Sunday one is. So join us on the Spotify Green Room app. We'll talk about I enjoyed reminiscing about the World Series this week. It was fun. 5 years felt like a long time. It felt. Oh my God! I was looking at pictures of myself. I'm like, oh God, life has been rough to me. So, do you have any flexing cubes? This is where we give you the hottest takes on the internet.
Yes, I have one.
Okay.
How many you got, Crawley?
One.
Okay, good.
I think we decided we're just going to have one from now on.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Well, it was actually in the notes. We didn't get to it, but I'm going to bring it up right now.
Oh, yeah.
PETA is really upset about the term bullpen. And so they've offered up a wonderful option, which I love. I love the idea of calling it the arm barn. Called the bullpen the arm barn from now on. Relievers are out in the arm barn. They're getting warmed up. But then this fucking cube points out, so this is the real meaning of arm barn, just so you know. On Urban Dictionary, arm barn is shoving one's fist up one's ass, similar to fisting, only a funnier word. Hey, sailor, want to go home and arm barn me? So that came from Pierre's ex name, and I just laughed my ass off when I saw that. So let's get some more arm barn going.
I enjoyed this on Facebook from my friend Carl Craddock. He wrote in, he goes, "It looks like Twitter thinks you died, Danny Rocket." And it was me and Crawley last Thursday. We were, because Crawley did one of those chats in Twitter. What do they call it? A space. And he named it Remembering Something, like remembering the 2016 World Series, but
or NLCS or something.
But it just looks like there's a picture of Crawley and a picture of me, and underneath it says "Remembering." It looks like we died.
It totally looks like you're dead. You've got like blue halos.
Oh man, I know, it's so funny. It just looks like we were just killed in a motorcycle accident or something. Yeah. So that's mine.
Bleacher Nation writes, a reminder that the Cubs crunched 40-man hits the wall today as guys come off the 60-day IL and will have to come off. There will be departures. And Decipio.com writes, no mere 40-man roster could possibly hold all of the amazing talent the Cubs have assembled.
Yeah, it's kind of how Michael feels about the DH. It's like, oh, you got a spot there, but what are you filling it with? The 40-man field.
Well, I don't know. You got a spot there, Danny. What are you filling it with? I'm thinking arm barn.
I'm thinking arm barn.
Oh, That's your old commercial.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking Arbard. You'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arbard. All right, well,
you have to end it with Sailor.
Oh, yeah. So that is the Son Ranto show for tonight. Please join us on the Spotify Green Room app right now. But here's my first entry into the Cubs carol. That is one of the ones we'll sing on December 11th. So check it out. This one's called Frank Schwindel. Spagog. See you on the other side. We all hated Rizzo traded with Javi and KB for some prospects and lottery tickets. Lots of losses throughout August, went 7-20. But there's one player Cub fans could cheer.